Why am I angry when I'm in the healing path? This is a question that was posed, anger while healing, for this series from a shamanic perspective, where I answer questions from a shamanic perspective as a healer and with the help of the allies of the divine that I'm honored to work with. Okay. So anger can be a beautiful emotion in the sense that it's kind of like saying there's a flag on the field. Something is amiss, something is wrong. Anger becomes the emotion that we feel when something deeper inside has been triggered. It just happens to be the surface emotion that we all see and feel the most, obviously, because it's the most socially accepted. People don't know what to do when someone is crying or mourning, right? But if someone's angry, we can navigate that because that's socially acceptable. That is strength, right? That's a wounded perspective. We're not going to get into that. But what it is saying is that something is wrong. My boundaries have been crossed or offended. I have not been heard or respected or witnessed in the way that my spirit needs. I have a lack of balance. Something is off in my actions, in my sense of self, or in my routine. Or maybe there's actually something missing. There could be a piece of your spirit, a piece of your soul that is missing from within. And it's being, that missingness is being activated or touched upon, triggered in the situation that makes us frustrated. So anger can become this amazing emotion that tells us something is wrong. And this is when we do the deeper inquiry. So if we're having anger in ourself, within our own healing journey, because I'm also going to talk about anger with others and then anger with the world. But anger within, when we're in the healing journey, is first question, did you finish the job? If you went in and you were doing some deeper healing, did you finish the job? Now, granted, there's always this truth that as we're in the healing journey, it's a spiral, and we may do something and be like, we fucking did it, crushed it. And then 6-8 months go by and we're spiraled back and we're like, oh my gosh, I thought I dealt with this already. Well, you did, but now you're on a deeper level. So when I mean by did you finish the job, I don't mean did you finish the whole spiral. I mean, did you finish the job? Did you wrap up and clean up the room when you were done with it? Meaning, if you did something that was really healing, like a soul retrieval, whether it was in breath work, in a shamanic healing session, in an energy work or whatever, if you did something that was bringing a part of you home, did you bring that in? Did you weave it in? Did you find ways to integrate that soul piece? Did you hear their truth? Did you ask them about who they want to be with you now as this new part of you? If it was ancestral related, did you forgive the original ancestor? Did that original ancestor apologize or make peace with those who came after between them and you? Or did you accept the truth that is within the ancestral line to the point where it was able to neutralize? Or did you honor the ancestors in a way that they deserve that has not been felt yet? Other options could be the story of why. Finishing the job can be about getting the information as to why things happen the way they did. Why did people act the way they did? Why did you act the way you did? When we have why, our mental brain can get on board, and therefore we can have a picture and a story to adhere to, and it allows us to feel less victim in our own story, or rather less kind of open-ended without knowing the outcome. Okay, all the energy that got kicked up as whatever healing happened, did that energy get neutralized? Or is it just hanging about? Did we neutralize it and send it onward? The other parts of did you finish the job could be, okay, so we've addressed that. But number 2 would be, did you take time to rest and integrate afterwards? That is so important, so necessary. And have you allowed space for this new version of you to create a new experience around you? Meaning, this new version of you, are you forcing this version of you into the old structures of the way you lived your life? Because that's just not going to work. So I have 2 more parts coming, but I'll make a separate video. From a Shamanic Perspective, part 2, about anger while healing. So I quickly wrapped up the first part, which was if you're getting angry with yourself, and anger being an amazing mask that lets us know something is off. When you're doing your own healing work, did you finish the job? I went into deeper detail with that, but the second question and the third question with that is, do you take time to rest and integrate? Because we cannot move into this new state of beingness without taking time to rest, without the stillness, the quiet, this dog hair, and integrating, allowing that part to go in. Now, it doesn't mean you guys spend 3 months in the mountains, although that does sound lovely. Give it 3 days. Honor your body for 3 days after a big healing or a big awareness drop. It's all healing. Give it 3 days. What does your body need? Do you need sleep? Do you want mac and cheese? Do you need to go for a nature walk? Listen to your body. Because as you integrate, this new version of you that's alchemizing becomes the way in which you see the world, becomes the way in which you engage with the world. So when you're in this new state of beingness, are you expecting this new state of being to acquiesce to the old structures, to keep up with the old routine, to keep doing this, that, the other? Because this new version of you isn't going to just do whatever you want her to do or them to do. They have a new way of being. Can you let this version of you show you, though it's vulnerable and scary because we don't always know the outcome, and that's okay. That courage is in the heart and is capable to help you. Are you willing to let them show you a new way of being in life? Because maybe that means the routine changes. Maybe that means the way you speak to a loved one softens or hardens. And it can be scary. Change can be scary, but it's not impossible. Okay. Anger with others, individuals. Well, the truth is we can't control other people or shape their path for them. All we can do is work on ourselves. And as we work on ourselves, we impact the experience others are having around us. That impact then gives people the opportunity to face their selves differently. And I can go into detail here. For example, let's say you are a people pleaser and you did this beautiful work. You've spent a year, 2 years, 5 years working on your people pleasing. And now you no longer feel, you don't have it anymore. It's not there. So Sally Q, who shows up and is like, I need you to do this because I'm cranky or whatever. And the old people pleaser you would have been like, okay. New version of you is like, I'm all right. You go ahead. I don't need to do that. And Sally Q is left with her baggage of stuff and is saying, excuse me? Right? And so now she has the opportunity to face her stuff saying, why do I feel the need to give someone else my baggage? Or she then doesn't want to deal with it and she walks away. So that's the most effective way we can help other people heal, is by going inward and doing our work. But when we do our work and we see other people not doing their work, we get frustrated because we're like, I want you to be here with me. I want you to feel this joy, this liberation. But we can't. We have to honor that everyone is exactly where they're supposed to be. And if their actions are speaking about, or rather are annoying you, then there's a deeper invitation for work within you that's coming up. If they're not facing their stuff, understand that there's probably a reason why. One, maybe it's just not the right timing for them. Maybe their body and environment doesn't feel safe enough. And I mean safe like in the spiritual sense. It doesn't feel calm, balanced, and accessible enough for them to feel comfortable to go into their shadow self and do that inner work. Maybe they have fear. They have other masks, other tender spots that are keeping them from seeing the truth of the situation, that they are capable and able. Again, that goes back to timing and feeling safe. And sometimes it's a lack of tools. So if you feel like the person's courageous and is like, I just don't get it, what am I getting wrong? Share the tools you've learned, or share the names of people you've learned from, or people who you know are good healers. Share tools, because sometimes it's just a lack of tools. Breath, grounding in the body. I went off book. So share the tools that you do know, or explore some other tools together. Okay, one more video coming for what we do with the world. From a Shamanic Perspective, part 3, with anger while healing. Now, I covered about the self. I covered a bit about other people, but I didn't finish that. So the other people is the key here when you're frustrated with other people who aren't doing the work. Like I said, sometimes it's a deeper invitation to go in. And as you're doing that, the key opportunity here is to go in and ask yourself, what am I expecting from them and why? What is it that I want to see them do? Is it because I love them and I want them to be happy and I see the best in them? Well, if they're not willing and ready to do the work to see the best in themselves, then there's nothing you can do, right? So you have to extricate your expectations from them. I know. This is that Sally Q moment when we take our expectations away and we're holding it. We get to face, why do I have this expectation? Maybe I do see the best in people because I love them. But then what if I took this energy of faith and love and hope and I gave it to myself? Or I gave it to those who are ready and willing. And I gave it to the earth. Was tender with trees and plants and animals and foundations that take care of the earth. What would happen if you took that energy and used it more proactively? This is the difference of a wildfire projecting and sending all this energy that just goes, right? And having a campfire that will cook a delicious s'more. Okay. Also, you need to extricate your reliance on their actions. That, who you think they should be or who that person you want them to be impacts you or supports you. Like, let yourself move past that. Become that person without them. Okay. So do the deeper work with your own reaction, whether it's disappointment, a feeling of lack of love, fear of the unknown, faith in universal laws and balance. These are all things that can come up when we're frustrated with love, partnership, friendships, with people who aren't changing like we are. And in some cases, it's just a matter of saying, you don't have to change because as long as you support me and what I'm doing, that's all I need. And I won't try to change you. But with the world, let's say we're angry with the world because there's a lot of polarizing stuff happening. Have some faith in the universal laws, okay? Everything has its balance, everything. Creation has destruction. Destruction or death has rebirth. Change agents has their preservers, people who don't want change, people who want nothing but change. We all have these balance, but in the between of these two polarities is this beautiful single point, this pivot point where the balance is found. Balance is not a single point necessarily, it is an area, because nothing is truly fixed and immovable. Everything is constantly fluid and dynamic. So it's about finding balance in between the two. So if you feel like you're teetering on one side, you're like, why can't these other people get their shit together? Well, what would it take for you to walk from the end towards the middle and to see that somehow in some lower layer of this seesaw, they want the same exact thing that you do. They're just on a different side of it. They see it differently. But they just want love. They want protection. They want security. They want connection. At the end of the day, don't forget we are animals. We just have thumbs, amazing brains, and legs that walk on 2 feet rather than 4. These are the three, and fire. Well, we didn't discover fire, but we harnessed it. So like these are the things that really shaped our evolution. We're animals. We just want all the same thing that all these other animals want. So if we can trust in the larger forces at play, if we can remember the balance section in between the polarities, and if we can focus on going inward to the self, then you can start to see ways that you can impact change that are holistic, that are sustainable, that are realistic, and that are actually affirmed and supported by your local environment rather than the world. Okay, recap, conclusion video incoming. Okay, so why angry when you're in a healing experience? There's a lot of reasons. Like I said, maybe you have a little bit more work to do. Maybe you have to rest. Maybe you have to find the normal. Maybe you have to pull your expectations, hopes, and dreams away from those around you and find it within the self, finding it within how you impact yourself with your actions and choices, and seeing the blessings that are there that can meet you in the middle now. And maybe it's about realizing that the change and the impact you make is within yourself first, and then that self impacts those people directly around you and the land that you're on, because the work that you're doing impacts the land that you are on. And the more we heal, the more we help the earth heal, the healthier everyone can be. Health begins with balance and peace and acceptance and love within the self. When we find that within here, we don't need as much out here. And so doing all of that is really important work. So allow your anger to be witnessed, but be wise with how you are expressing it. Use it constructively, not destructively, not to prove a point. Use it to guide you, to bring courage, to bring light as you go inward into the dark depths of the shadow, to find the places within that are hurting, that are tender. Use your fire, your anger, your passion as a source of courage to go in, and also to have faith, to have burning faith that everything outside of you is bigger than you, and therefore you can't have expectations of how it will be or how you will be. You just have to have faith in the light of the universal divine love and truth, and in yourself as an expression of that divine love and truth. And just try to find ways that you can be open and flow. So, I know that's a lot of content, but it's all good and it's all true. So sit with this, breathe with it. What is tense? What is reacting? What is feeling unheard or unseen? Share it with me. Share it with someone else. Share this video with other people, or these videos. And if you have other questions that come up, no matter how silly or mundane they may be, send them. You never know, some pretty magical shit could come out of it. So thank you for being a part of this and sharing this wisdom with others or yourself or whatever. Thank you. Thank you.